Hey guys, Mishan here, singer, songwriter, and vocal coach. Today we're going to talk a little bit about performance anxiety.
Run, run, lost boy, they say to me.
So for a lot of singers, and I've spoken to many of them, many of my students, they struggle with confidence when it comes to singing. Now, confidence can come in two forms. Number one is skill. But then also, even skilled performers can feel unconfident in their voice and in their abilities. And so what we have to do is develop the confidence to be able to sing in front of other people. And that's kind of a different discussion. So we'll go through both of these in different pieces. So the first piece is if your skills, or you feel like your skills are lacking. So if you feel like your skills are lacking as a singer, then what we're talking about is developing those skills, getting confident in the things that you're going to be doing as a singer. And when it comes to this, really what it's about is developing the techniques of singing. So for a lot of people, they're afraid to sing higher notes because they don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You really have to find the correct techniques for your voice and what you need specifically so that you can achieve balance in your own voice. One of the best ways to do this is to try to find feedback on your voice. So this can come in many different forms. A lot of people will record themselves and listen back to it. So then that way you can provide yourself your own critique. The problem with this is that you're not an expert when it comes to singing, and you won't know exactly what needs to change. You may hear that there's a problem, but you're not really sure, how do I change that to make it better? The other way is to reach out to friends, reach out to colleagues that might sing and get their opinion on what's going on. So this may be slightly better, but again, what you might fall into is that they're really unsure what needs to change specifically with your voice to get it to be leveled up and to improve on the specific parts of your voice that are lacking. The third way that I recommend for everybody is to seek out a professional voice coach and get specific, tailored, personalized feedback that's going to walk you through exactly what your voice needs. Because somebody with experience will be able to know what is lacking, what the balance needs to be, and give you the direction of which exercises you should really focus on so that you can achieve those results. So if that interests you, I highly recommend joining our community where you're going to have access directly to me, where I can give you specific feedback. And we have many experienced singers in the group that will help you along your journey as well. So you can click the link down below if you're interested in checking that out. Oftentimes, the problem with confidence in the voice when we're not skilled is that we just really haven't done it enough. So I'm borrowing this concept from a coach of mine, Alex Hermosi, who's a business coach. But what he talks a lot about is that we got to do things that we can then show lead to specific results. So if at the end of the day, we don't make enough or do enough in regards to that. So like if you don't record your own songs, or you don't sing in public, or you don't sing at least in front of a few friends, then how do you know that you're not able to do it confidently? You kind of have to get yourself out there and start doing it in order to build confidence. And so in this area, it doesn't even have to be necessarily in front of other people, but it could just be doing exercises that improve your abilities, that you do it consistently so that you see yourself constantly improve. And it may be small improvements, but this will build your confidence in your abilities, because for many people, they don't feel confident in their abilities because they just really don't have much evidence to prove yes or no whether they can do it. And so people let fear hold them back from actually going out and trying these things and being able to improve. So all of this is to say, in summary, what we have to do is really up-level our skills by actually doing the thing we're trying to improve on. So if you want to sing, but many students that I'll ask, so how many songs have you sung? Like I sing along in the car with like 5 songs. Okay, so no wonder why you're not confident in your voice. You haven't done it enough. Have you sung for hours and hours? Like that's step number 1. We got to get over that hump so that you can start to build your confidence by doing. Once you've overcome that threshold and you've reached that level, now we come to another level where you may have the hours of work behind you, but you still just don't feel comfortable. And so it's another level of fear, but it's fear of failure, fear of doing the wrong thing, even though you might have evidence to the contrary. And here is where building what I like to call a fear hierarchy will really help. So for somebody that may have the skills to be able to sing, but they still feel fearful and unconfident when singing in front of other people, what they need to do is work out a hierarchy of what causes them the most fear at the top and then lower levels of fear below it. So let's give an example. Let's say if I were to sing by myself in the shower, I feel a 1 level of anxiety. But now let's say I were to sing in my apartment where neighbors might overhear. That might make me feel like a 2 or 3 on the anxiety scale. And then if I were to sing in front of my friends, that might bring me up to a 4 or a 5. And then if I were to sing in front of strangers on the street, maybe I would feel a 6 or a 7. And then if I were to sing on a stage in front of many other people, I would feel a 10 on the anxiety scale. So everybody's going to have to build their own hierarchy to find what causes them the most fear. But this is going to be the most systematic way to work yourself through that fear so that you can build your confidence slowly. Throwing yourself out into a stage where you feel maximum fear and your throat closes up and your mouth dries out and your heart starts beating outside of your chest is not going to be the best way to approach this. So I'll give you an example from my own personal experience. A few years back, I was invited to perform at a singing competition, and I knew I'd be performing in front of 1,000 people live on stage. This cost me a massive amount of anxiety. Part of it was that I didn't have enough experience singing on a stage. So what I did was I took 2 months before the performance and I showed up to every single karaoke bar I could possibly find, and I sang in front of the group of drunk people. So that caused me a lower level of anxiety than singing in front of 1,000 sober people, and it made it much easier to step up to that stage and feel confidence in my ability. The closer we can approximate the last levels of that fear hierarchy to that top level of where our goal is, the easier it'll be to perform when it comes to actually reaching that goal. And so when I stood up on that night and I was singing in front of 1,000 people, I felt like I had already done this. Like, this isn't brand new. I'm singing in front of more people, but it's something that is not foreign. Had I just sung in my room by myself to prepare for it, I would not have felt nearly as prepared coming into it. So what I'd like you to do right now is pull out a piece of paper. If you feel like you're the one of these that might have the skills, and you may not be a good judge on whether or not you have the skills, and that's where reaching out to a community like ours will give you at least feedback to say, oh, you are a good technically skilled singer, but you just haven't built up your confidence in this step-by-step way. Then what I recommend for you to do is right now pull out a piece of paper and write out what are your stages that you would need to work through to be able to get to your desired goal. And in that way, we can very systematically knock them down one after another, make sure that we put ourselves out there and do the things that might make us feel a little bit uncomfortable, might make us feel fearful, but it will help us get to that end result as quick as possible, because most people are floundering because they don't know exactly where to start. This system will give you an exact plan of where to start. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please leave a comment down below. Just let me know that you benefited from this. And if you want to see more videos like this, where I'm putting out content on singing and going deep on how to improve your singing, click on this video right here. You're going to enjoy it too.